This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Sales of vehicles powered by internal combustion engines actually peaked in 2017 and are now in permanent decline. That's according to Bloomberg New Energy Finance, or BNEF. Besides the decline in sales, the research firm says the total number of ICE vehicles already on the road will start to decline in 2024, and that's having an impact on the demand for oil. BNEF says all EVs, including 2- and 3-wheeled vehicles, buses, passenger cars, and commercial vehicles, are already displacing 1.5 million barrels of oil a day. And by 2025, that will rise to 2.5 million barrels a day. It predicts that gasoline demand will start to fall in 2026. And along those lines, Jeep CEO Christian Munier says the company will only sell hybrid and plug-in hybrid models in most of Europe by the end of the year. Jeep hasn't decided when it will shift to an electrified-only lineup in the U.S., but Munier says it won't be anytime soon. He added Jeep will be 100% electric in Europe and 50% in the U.S. by 2030. Jeep will launch its first BEV next year, and by 2025, it will have a BEV model for all of its segments. Buick is making waves in the industry. It says it's going all electric by the end of the decade. It unveiled an all-new logo, and it keeps digging up old names from the past for new vehicles. First, here's the new logo. The round ring around the outside is gone, and the 3 shields have been broken apart and sit level with each other all in a row. As we revealed the other day, Buick is reviving the Electra name for an Ultium-based SUV called the Electra-X. In fact, Buick says that all of its future EVs will carry the Electra name. And here's the concept that previews what it will look like. There's not a whole lot of specs on this EV right now, but based on this picture, it looks like it will have all-wheel drive and up to a 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack. One interesting note is that this concept previews GM's virtual cockpit system, which, quote, enables new design thinking and a connected experience in a seamless digital ecosystem, whatever that means. But it uses Qualcomm's Snapdragon mobile platform. That's the same platform used by the new Ultra Cruise hands-free door-to-door system, which was also co-developed with Qualcomm. Buick says it will introduce 5 all-new electric vehicles in China through 2025, and the Electra-X will make its way to North America in 2024. It also pulled the wraps off a new concept called the Wildcat EV, which we know doesn't go with the Electra naming structure, but it still is just a concept right now. And Wildcat is a name that Buick used from 1963 until 1970 on a full-size car. And we even see a little influence from that classic in the roofline of this new concept. But that's about where the similarities end. Based on the Wildcat and Electra-X, you can start to get a sense of where Buick's design is headed in the future. The Wildcat also previews an interior full of display screens. The instrument cluster and infotainment are combined under one big screen. There's one at either end of the dash for the digital side view mirrors, and even one for vehicle controls at the end of the center armrest. And if you're wondering about that new logo, it's going to start showing up on models sometime next year.
There are a few key reasons to start a business in Michigan. First of all, it's the talent. Second, Michigan is wired for winning. Third, the ecosystem here is really focused on supporting businesses in the market.
At Schaeffler, we pioneer motion. Electrifying mobility, manufacturing smarter, reducing CO2 emissions, making energy production clean. Schaeffler pioneers motion to advance how the world moves.
While a lot of vehicles are getting price hikes because of part shortages, Chevy is actually cutting the price of the Bolt EV and EUV. The Bolt EV now has a starting price of $26,595, $5,900 less expensive than before, and the Bolt EUV now starts at $28,195, which is $6,300 cheaper. Both prices do include destination charges. But Chevy is trying to kickstart sales of the models after it had to suspend sales and idle production last year due to battery fires. We've shown you portable and swappable battery packs. Well, now here's a portable and swappable hydrogen power pack. It comes from Toyota, who plans to test them out in a number of situations, including for generating electricity in a fuel cell system or used as a combustion fuel. This means it could heat a house, power devices, or even a motorcycle or small car. Toyota says it will continue to work on the system to make it easier to use, to improve the cartridge and its energy density. But it believes in both hydrogen and battery electric. So Toyota also revealed a stationary battery storage system for homes, which can be pre-ordered right now in Japan. It has a capacity of 8.7 kilowatt hours, a maximum output of 5.5 kilowatts, and it weighs 142 kilograms or 313 pounds. Toyota shows how it can also be linked up with a solar panel system or even a Toyota plug-in vehicle, which allows the user to tap into the electricity stored in the vehicle. Most autonomous systems require fairly precise GPS to operate properly. So in order to provide an even more accurate navigation system for its autonomous vehicles, Geely just launched 9 satellites into low Earth orbit. It plans to launch another 63 by 2025 and will eventually have a blanket of 240 satellites to provide an even more accurate GPS system. And those satellites are designed to last for 5 years and eventually will burn up in the Earth's atmosphere.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Are you ready for a shocking stat? Ford CEO Jim Farley says it costs $25,000 to $27,000 more to build a Mach-E than a Ford Edge with an ICE engine. But he also predicts that the cost of electric cars will drop dramatically with clean sheet BEV designs. In fact, he predicts that around 2026, the auto industry will be consumed by a price war over electric cars that cost $25,000. Farley spoke at a conference organized by Bernstein, the financial management company, and here are some of the other highlights. Farley predicts there will be a lot of industry consolidation amongst traditional automakers, EV startups, and automotive suppliers. He thinks there will be more buyouts than joint ventures. Ford is going to build an electric, special-built vehicle for Uber and Lyft drivers and other ride-hailing services. It will be designed for the lowest operating costs, and it will have a lot of ADAS technology, so it has the lowest insurance costs. Instead of selling them, Ford will offer them on a per-mile or on a daily or weekly basis. He said using the franchise dealer way of selling vehicles adds $2,000 to $3,000 to the cost compared to Tesla, and that advertising adds another $600 to $700 per vehicle. LFP, or lithium iron phosphate batteries, are 20% cheaper than NMC, or nickel manganese cobalt batteries. That's about $2,000 cheaper for a battery pack. And Ford announced it's making a big commitment in the U.S. It's investing $3.7 billion and will add more than 6,200 UAW jobs in Michigan, Ohio, and Missouri. It will also convert nearly 3,000 temporary workers to full-time employees, and it will upgrade plants for new products. A new electric commercial vehicle will be built in Ohio that debuts in the middle of the decade. The new global Mustang and Ranger will be built in Michigan, and Ford is adding jobs at its Missouri plant to build more transits and e-transits. The company claims this investment will lead to the creation of 74,000 indirect new jobs in the U.S. by 2026. And hey, be sure to join John and Gary for Autoline After Hours this afternoon. They'll be talking with entrepreneurs who participated in the Global Automotive and Mobility Innovation Challenge. It's an annual competition to discover the most promising automotive startups, and we've got the top winners on Autoline After Hours today, so be sure to tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. But that's a wrap for today's show. Thank you for watching.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. Scheffler, we pioneer motion. And by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.